Hello there. For this week's upload, we're going to be looking at what if Savage Opress survived his wounds on Mandalore. So Savage wakes up in the medical facility in the Sundari Palace and looks over to see Almec at his side. Almec asks where Maul is and sits up to notice he's back to his normal self. He eventually replies to Almec saying he doesn't know where Maul is and he was taken by the Sith Master. Almec asks Savage for orders, and Savage just gives Almec a look of confusion, and Almec explains that with Maul gone, command now falls to him. Savage tells Almec he doesn't want it. Almec asks Savage what he does want, and he thinks to himself for a minute. He can't go home. He remembers what Dooku did to the Night Sisters. He'd be putting himself at risk. He'd be putting other people he loves at risk. With the Jedi hunting for him too, and a massive bounty on his head, this leaves him with few options. He eventually decides to take a page from Ventress's book and becomes a bounty hunter. He asks Almec for one final favour, and Almec provides Savage with a unique set of Mandalorian armour, crafted for a Zabrak. Savage spends the next few months as a bounty hunter until an altercation with a rival bounty hunter knocks his helmet off and reveals his face, alerting the Bounty Hunters Guild and the Republic to Savage's presence. Anakin and Obi-Wan are sent to Nar Shaddaa to apprehend Savage. The two Jedi find him and back him into a corner. He yells at them to leave him alone and attempts to run, which stuns Obi-Wan, but not Anakin, who pursues. Anakin catches Savage and attempts to execute him for killing Master Halsey and his Padawan, as well as Adi Gallia, but is stopped by Obi-Wan, who reminds Anakin that they're to arrest him so the Council can find out what he knows. Back at the temple guards escort Savage into a holding cell, and Obi-Wan and Anakin speak to Yoda in private. Obi-Wan stands up for Savage, stating that his choice to join the Sith evidently wasn't his, giving his change in physicality and personality as evidence. Anakin argues against Obi-Wan, but Yoda silences him. Yoda requests that Obi-Wan joins him to speak to Savage alone, and Obi-Wan agrees. Savage, as a last-ditch attempt to defend himself, explains everything, detailing how Ventress took him from his village and used him as a pawn to kill Dooku, and was manipulated by Talzin's magic to do so. Obi-Wan is skeptical, but Yoda glances up at Obi-Wan. The two thank Savage for his time and leave the room. Obi-Wan briefs Anakin on what Savage said, and Anakin agrees to find Ventress in the Coruscant underworld. He finds her, and Ventress confesses that what Talzin and herself did to him was true, and she regretted the part she played, and walked away after commenting on if it was true that Savage regained his free will, then he deserved a fresh start. Anakin returns and fills in Yoda and Obi-Wan. The three make a decision to release Savage on the condition Savage accompanies Yoda on a journey. Savage reluctantly agrees, and the two embark on a journey which sees Yoda give Savage perspective on life and the Force. Time goes on, and the Outer Rim sieges are about to begin. Yoda and Savage return to Coruscant, and Obi-Wan has a conversation with Yoda with how Anakin's been struggling with Ahsoka's decision. Yoda sees an opportunity and assigns Savage as Anakin's apprentice. Anakin hates the idea and gives Savage a hard time, but Savage is able to keep up with Anakin's harsh teaching methods. Throughout the sieges, Savage grows significantly in skill and power. We come to the siege of Yabana, and we now see that Savage is a highly skilled combatant. Back on the Resolute, Anakin receives the same transmission from Ahsoka, and he's stunned. Ahsoka and Bo-Katan meet up with Anakin, Obi-Wan and Savage, and Bo-Katan lashes out at Savage and attempts to kill him, but she's restrained by Ahsoka and Anakin, and Obi-Wan explains that he's changed. And Savage apologizes for the part he played in taking over Mandalore and promises to help her take it back. The alarms sound, and Anakin and Obi-Wan are called back to Coruscant, and Anakin leaves Savage and Rex and the 332nd in Ahsoka's command. The rest of the siege plays out mostly the same, until Savage and Maul confront each other in the throne room before the final battle alongside Ahsoka. Maul screams at Savage for abandoning him and betraying him and turning to the Jedi. Savage defends himself by saying he wasn't a Jedi and he never wanted what Maul wanted, and his choice was taken away. Maul rejects everything Savage says and gives him one final chance to join him for the sake of killing Sidious, stating the three of them could beat him. Ahsoka and Savage look at each other, and Maul gives his speech about how Sidious always has been in control from the shadows. Savage speaks up reluctantly and tells Ahsoka he's too strong for any of them to take alone. Ahsoka agrees to help Maul under the condition that he tells her what he wants with Anakin, and his response begins the duel between the three. Maul is put on the back foot and attempts to flee, but the two catch him and the battle ends. The clones take Maul back to the Venator and it enters hyperspace. Savage visits Maul and the two have a telepathic conversation due to Maul's restraints. Maul tells Savage that if they go to Coruscant, Sidious will have them both killed. They know too much. Savage thinks it over and then mind tricks the clones to dismiss themselves, and Savage pushes the containment device to an escape pod and releases Maul. Savage tells Maul that he doesn't want to see him die, but they're done, and advises Maul do something with his life worthwhile, and Maul scoffs and smirks and says they're brothers and they could never be done with each other. Savage shoves Maul into an escape pod and ejects it while in hyperspace. At that moment, Order 66 is executed, and Ahsoka and Savage team up to survive, as well as free Rex from the chip's control. The three escape and go into hiding. Rex leaves to liberate the clones, and Savage remains with Ahsoka. This is the end of part 1. Let me know if you want to see a part 2. That's all for now, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!